the Jets are a 2.5-point favorite over the Miami Dolphins, their second meeting of the year. This is going to be VR's best bet of the week. VR, my friend, tell me who you like.
Yeah, I jumped on Miami right away at 3, laid a little big to get it. Not surprised the line came down. I think it's going to go back up once the public gets involved come game day because they're going to fall all over the Jets. They're in love with them right now. The perception's totally come around to the Jets side. If you remember, 4 weeks ago, nobody wanted anything to do with the Jets. Then all of a sudden on Monday Night Football, they played Houston tough, covered that number. The week after, they blew out Indianapolis Colts while everyone was fading them.
Right.
And finally, last week, they just about beat the New England Patriots. In fact, Sanchez outplayed Brady.
Really did.
Now, all of a sudden, perceptions changed. And that's why I think you're getting value on the Miami side. Let's not forget, Jets beat Miami earlier in this season, 23-20 in Miami. Because of that, I think the public's going to take the approach of if they beat them on the road, they could beat them at home, especially given less than a field goal or a field goal. Looks like a coin toss, but let me tell you, this Jets team is a team without an offensive identity. New offensive coordinator Sperano trying to change things up too quickly. Last year with Schottenheimer, they were a ground and pound team, and now all of a sudden they have absolutely no identity offensively. 1 week they want to rush successfully. Next week they try to throw. And I think you're going to have problems against a Miami team which is gaining momentum. Let's not forget, they had a new head coach, implemented a new West Coast offense, implemented a new defense, a new 4-3 defense, and then Tannehill, a rookie quarterback. Now all of a sudden, 6-7 games in, we're starting to see this team's alive.
Chuck Edel.
I agree. There's a lot of things pointing Miami. First, they're coming off the bye,
right.
Fresh legs here. Jets just played an overtime game on the road. In practice this week, reading a little bit, a lot of energy over there, Miami. And that first game was fun, because the Jets beat them at Miami, but Miami had a lot of opportunities. Bush in that game went out with an injury, and there's no question now. Tannehill, the Miami's playing better. When the season started, I wasn't sure about Philbin. I got to be honest.
Me too. I didn't like what I saw on HBO.
Absolutely.
In the preseason, I thought, the way he handled himself, I wasn't a big fan. But I tell you what, the offense has improved every week. Hartline now, that guy, he only had one catch in that game. Now it's Tannehill's favorite receiver. Holmes in that game, Santonio Holmes for the Jets had a huge game. Obviously, he's out of that lineup now. Jets still having trouble running the ball here, and I agree with you here on Miami. I think a lot of things point that way.
I love it when the road team wins the first division matchup. Well, then you just bet the road team again in the second one. And I had a friend that used to call it a major reverter. He loved that terminology.
And it makes sense, especially in a series like this, Chris, where if you look historically, home field advantage is negated, or at least you're not going to give the full home field.
Right.
Because the road teams won 7 of the last 10 straight up. And I don't think the Jets are a full 3 points for home field. So I shade them even a little less than that. But in this series in particular, where we see that home field isn't as strong as it may be, I think there's just too much value on Miami not to grab the points here.
All right, we've talked about it. Let's make it official.
Miami at the New York Jets. Revenge spot for Miami on the road. Jets beat them at home earlier in the season, but this is an improved Miami Dolphins team. Remember, new head coach, new quarterback, new offense, new defense. Now all of a sudden, 6 games, 7 games in, and a bye to prepare. You're going to see a Miami team that keeps improving week by week. Jets, no identity yet. Grab the points with Miami. They're going to win this game straight up.
Very good. I agree with you with the Philbin statement.
Yeah.
I thought he would be a complete disaster. I thought he'd be a disaster.
And
Tannehill too.
In HBO, that preseason thing, he was awful. I was like,
I tell you what,
remind me to fade him.
The Jets, that was a disappointing loss too for the Jets. I mean, they got their tail between their legs a little bit. I mean, Jim Nantz is the only one who thought the Jets won that game. Yeah.
It was a disappointing loss a week before too, because they played real tough against Houston. And pull out a victory. But it's funny you said nobody wanted to bet them at all against Houston. They got a pretty decent amount of the action against New England last week, but getting 10
nobody wants anything to do with this Jets team.
Yeah.
I mean,
now
everybody
they love
getting Tebow, get rid of. I mean, that's all you were hearing. That's it. The press was killing them in New York.
All right, folks. Well, coming up next, we are going to talk about the Denver Broncos hosting the New Orleans Saints on Sunday Night Football. That'll be my best bet of the week. Thanks for watching. You can watch all our videos at pregame.tv.